Yes. Hello. And this is the Ownership Club Financial Power Hour from 3 to 5 here on Intellectual Radio. And we're going to have an amazing show today. Today is all about you. So, again, this is the Financial Power Hour. This is your boy. This is your co-host, Brian Fleming. Shouts out to Raymond Batts. He is out of town taking care of some phenomenal business. Shouts out to that girl, Olivia. She's actually doing some business as well. And Shy Blizz. My team is really in the streets. So I'm here by myself. We're going to have some fun. If you want to call up to the show, if you want to ask a question, whether it be real estate, taxes, gentrification, if you want to talk about what just took place over the weekend, we had some unfortunate deaths in the Chicagoland. It's good weather out there. We want y'all to be safe. Give us a call at 708-223-8953. Again, 708-223-8953. We want to hear what you got to say about this coming up summer. How are you going to stay safe? And what do you think? Congratulations to our new mayor, Mayor Johnson, first mayor, and his family. What are some of the things you want to see, in the mayor of Chicago? If you're calling in, please call in 708-223-8953. But let's get into it, man. Our last show, we had a great show. We had the whole team here talking about a lot of things. I first want to say shouts out to Intellectual Radio. And I'm going to tell you, as a small business owner, it is hard to find a home to where you can grow and where you can see your future. So if you are a small business owner, and if you are an individual that wants to do a little bit more for your business, or if you just have some ideas and you want to put it on the radio and you just don't know how to go, come up here, give us a call, 708-223-8953. And there's an amazing home for you. When I tell you, this has been one of the most loving and just open, honest dialogues I've ever been around. And we're on a lot of different platforms. But the one thing I can say is that kudos to the ownership here, because they are really doing some great things. And if you, have not ever been inside of the studio, it is state of the art. It is state of the art. It's a good look for Chicago, and it's a good look for Black excellence. So this is some of the things that we as individuals need to see. When you first come in the door, you see a lot of pictures of a lot of different prominent individuals. The owner is always here. He's very hands-on with his station. And when I tell you, the rates are comparable, trust me, a lot of radio rates, they will eat up your budget. He works with you, and also he grows with you. So again, if you're looking to do some things, and expand your brand, or if you even want to, market or advertise, come on. Interview rates are very small right now. We'll take care of you. We'll make sure that you are growing. So again, that number is 708-223-8953. Call us. We're going to be here at 5 o'clock. We're going to have a good time. Save your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. June 3rd, next Saturday, we will be having a 12-week tax seminar. Yes, next Saturday from 9 to 12 p.m. We're going to be over at the Oak Lawn Hilton, and it's going to be at 93rd and Cicero, and we're going to have amazing tax masterclass. And in this masterclass, we're going to explain to you and break down in 12 weeks how to understand the tax codes, as well how to grow a 6-figure tax business. Doesn't matter if you're in taxes. Doesn't matter if you know how to do taxes. It doesn't matter if you've never done taxes. We're going to break that down to the bare bones. And we're going to have some fun. It's at 9 a.m., so you got to get up on that Saturday morning. And it's only to 12 o'clock. And if you can't make it physically, but you still want to be a part of it, we're going to have access to Zoom. So again, if you want to be a part of that opportunity, you can give us a call, or you can text 630-926-0394. And all you got to do is text Masterclass to 630-926-0394. We're going to have a good time. Real estate. Let's talk a little bit about real estate. I have been driving around the Chicagoland area, and I tell you, I've seen a lot of real estate opportunities in this area. I'm talking about 2 flats, 3 units, commercial properties, buy here, pay here, short sale, tax liens, um, landlords that's, just I've seen it all. And the one thing that I can say, short sale. So a short sale could work a couple different ways. It could be bank owned or it can be individually owned. So what happens is it has to be approved by the bank if it's bank owned. So what happens is typically if I own a property and I want to get rid of it, someone has to absorb the loss, right? So if I own it free and clear, then typically you're just selling me the property um, at a discounted rate to get it out of your hair. That's pretty much what you do. You say, you know what? I don't want to deal with this no more. I just want to be done with it. So we just actually did one other day, last month. I was involved with it. So Raymond, my business partner, had a group of investors who bought a property and they went in and they did some work and it was a little bit more work than they wanted to do. So then a company that I knew, I brokered a deal to buy them out of their deal. So it was for 70,000, and I brokered that deal for him. So they paid 70,000 for the short sale. It took Raymond them totally out of it. It put $70,000 in their pocket, and now the new company owns the property. And all they had to do was do a quick claim and switch the title over. The taxes were paid up and everything like that. So that's fine. So typically a short sale can go either way. The best short sales are bank owned, right? So, and that's where it's not what you know, it's who you know. So if you know someone that works for a bank, they get a list of properties that are on that list. And the bank has to relinquish those properties. They're on the bank's balance sheet, right? So what that means, the bank is taking a loss with those properties, and they got to relinquish that, and they want to let them go for pennies on a dollar. So a bank will sell a $200,000 property for 10 grand, a $500,000 property for 25,000, because they have to. The bank is not your landlord. The bank is not in the business of being a landlord. They want it off their books. They don't care, and they're going to give you such a great discount that you're like, wait a minute, you trying to tell me you're going to give me a $400,000 property for 10,000? Yes, because they don't want to absorb any of the issues that come along with being a landlord. So those are the most profitable ways to do short sales. Now, absentee landlords are great ways to do it. So I'll give you an example. If you own a property and you say you have an investment property and you live in Florida, but you own a 3 flat in Indiana and you never visit it, the only time you go visit it is when the city calls you to fix something. Someone comes along and say, hey, I noticed your property is vacant. It got a couple cracked windows. I looked it up on Zillow. I see it's only worth 110. I know you don't owe anything on it. I'll offer you 50 grand. And you like, you know what? I know it's worth 110, but 50,000 is 50,000. You know what? Come on. Give me the 50. Let's do a short sale. Because you don't want the headache anymore. You don't want to deal with the rigmarole of owning property. So that's where, and I'm going to segue into this, a lot of property management comes in because they deal with the day-to-day operations of the building. They deal with the utilities. They deal with the maintenance. They find the tenants. They do the background checks. It's called turnover. So when you have a tenant that moves out, they turn the apartment over so it can be rented again. And typically, a property management company charge between 4 and 10% of the rent roll. So if you're charging $1,000 a month, they get between 4 and 10%. Property management companies don't get rich off of rental fees. They make money off of other services rendered. Typically, a property management company will manage the property as well as they service the property, right? So they'll manage the property, but they own a cleaning service. They own a contracting company. So they're getting 6% off of the rent, but then they're charging you for the cleaning. So that's where they make the bulk of their money. But now you don't have to worry about managing your property. You're just getting your rent rolls. So you're getting a check every month. If you're, you got, just say if you got a 3-unit and you getting 4,000 a month, minus 400, so you getting 3,600 every month without even looking up. You bar there are no issues, no problems. But typically, I love short sales. I love tax liens. Um, there is a system that needs to be taking place in it. And a lot of times when you're new in real estate, the one thing that most people don't want to do is get a mentor. They want to fast start it, right? They get 10 grand, they want to buy a property. And I'm gonna, be honest, if you only have 10 grand and that's all you got, pay for mentorship. Because that 10 grand will be gone in less than 15 seconds. You get a water bill could be 10,000. A tax bill could be 7,000. A tax lien could be 8,000. A contractor could be 3,500 just to show up. You can, when $10,000 in some industries, 10,000 is a lot of money. In real estate, 10,000 is nothing. So a lot of people ask me all the time. They say, "Well, Brian, how much do you need to have to really start in real estate?" Well, it depends on which area of real estate you want to go in. Because in some areas, you don't need any money. It's who you know. So the deal that I did with Raymond, I wasn't an investor. I wasn't the buyer. I put the deal together. And I got paid a commission on putting the deal together. So I wasn't the buyer. I wasn't the seller. I put the deal together. I got a commission on both, and that was the end of it. Now, if I want to be a real estate investor, okay, now you got to say, what is your focus? There's no wrong way to make $1 million in real estate. Some individuals focus on single family. Some individuals focus on multi-units. Some individuals focus on commercial. And there's pros and cons to all of them. An individual that does single family, and that's all they do is single family, they don't necessarily want to deal with multi-units. An individual that deals with multi-units, they don't want to deal with commercial. But on the reverse, an individual that deals with commercial does not want to deal with single family. They rather dealing with mixed use. They're dealing with higher volume. So most people who do single family, they'll talk in these terms. How many doors you own? How many doors you own? And that's pretty much saying how many physical doors do you own? Now, in multi-units, how many units you own? Right? Because they're dealing in volume. In commercial, how much acreage do you own? How many lots do you own? Because most commercial is a mixed use. You may have residential on top, commercial down low, but then it's a percentage, and then based upon where you are in the county, it's a mixed use. You can get more bang for your buck, but the loan dollar amounts are in the potential multi-millions. So when you're dealing with a single family, the lending is different. When you're dealing with a multi-use, you get to add 75% back into your home to get the rental income from a mortgage standpoint. So if you want to, buy a 3-unit or a 4-unit, anything less than a 4-unit going into a 5, that's considered commercial rates. Right now, prime is about 5 to 6. So if you're paying between 2 and 3, that's very good. Get the money. if you got a lender that's giving you 2 to 4%, even if you don't need the money, borrow the money, because banks loan you money when you don't need it. Because if you do need it, they don't want to give it to you. and they're gonna make you pay for it. So a person say, "Well, Brian, why would I, borrow money when I don't need it? Because it's better to have it and I need it than not have it." And you never know if you borrow 100 grand, what you're gonna do with it. Because now you can make money. I just started another Roth IRA. They're paying 5% for 11 months. Now, 4 years ago, it was at 2. It was at 0.5. But because rates are going up, in 6 months, they may be at 8. Now, the drawback of that is this. When Roths and interest rates are up, guess what is up? Mortgage rates are up. So if they're paying 5% on a Roth, that means interest rates are going to go to 7 to 8. If Roths are down, then the rates are going to be between 3 and 4. So it's all relative. So getting back to short sales are more quick, fast. So it's more designed for individuals that have cash flow. So you don't do short sales with long-term rates. You do short sales 30 days, 45 days. So if anything, you have to either know or have the ability to pull the money instantaneously. So it has to be in a liquid account, a money market, a checking account, a savings account, a CD, and you're willing to take the penalty on it. Even in your retirement fund, for those of us who work jobs and that have been at their jobs, you can turn your retirement fund into an investment account, because typically with your retirement fund, they let you pull if it has something to do with buying a property or if it's your first property or things of that nature. So most importantly, short sales are great when you can leverage investors. So if you want to sell a multi-unit and it's worth 200, but you really only need 150, what if you could raise 150 on a short sale? That's way better than going to the bank, because now you got to get an appraisal, now you got to get an inspection. It's too many things that have to go right for that deal to go through. But if you have liquid, even if you want 150, I know some sellers that go for 110. They'll take their $40,000 hit to walk away with $110,000 if the deal is worth it. So there's nothing wrong with short sales. You can grow a portfolio or you can relinquish a portfolio very quickly if you have some aggressive buyers. Now, in this market, there's a lot of individuals that are making money, right? COVID, we're post-COVID, right? We're post PPP, we're post unemployment. So hopefully individuals, and I know some of them, they stockpile their money. The world was shut down for 2 years. Couldn't do anything. You claim unemployment, you get your PPPs, and you just looking at TV. So, so I know people that literally made almost 200 grand just watching TV. It didn't work at all. So now you can put that money to use and say, hey, look, where can I invest these opportunities? Gentrification is very real in some areas. Areas like Forest Park, right? I have an amazing pastor friend there that we're doing some work with, Pastor Darnell. He's an amazing pastor. He owns a lot. And for those that are in the Forest Park area, it's an up-and-coming area. It's very rough right now. But think about how the South Loop looked 15 years ago. It was rough. Now look at it now. That's gentrification. Think about right now, 15 years ago, right now, the way the South Loop used to look. You did not want to go down there. There's nothing down there. You're like, oh my God, this is horrible. I hate the South Loop. Now look at the South Loop. Now it's restaurants down there, it's clubs down there. The scenery is different. You can walk down there, So it's going to be the same thing. And right now, we are getting together buyers, aggressive buyers, and aggressive investors that see long term, right? Because you got to have a vision. You got to have a vision. Real estate is not if you're in real estate, and if you don't have a vision and an exit strategy, don't get in it. Do not get in it because it's not going to work out. You 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 will have a deal that looks good on Monday, and the inspector comes out and changes your whole framework. It'll change your whole framework of the deal because it's plumbing issues, it's insecticide issues, is don't let it be mold. Now you got to go into the foundation of the property. Don't let it be, uh, especially in the city of Chicago, if you want to get it FHA approved, because there's certain piping got to be in certain areas and all that stuff. So you know you gotta understand that it's a process. And a lot of times people, they think a good deal is so great, they'll pay on the front end and say, "Hey, I'll just pay for it and don't worry about it on the back end." And you didn't pay 40 grand for this property, and now you're 300,000 into it, and you like, wait a minute, how do I get away from this? Like now you can't give it away. It's some properties that people can't even give away. You'll spend more money. You'll spend less money bulldozing it than you would rebuilding it. Hey, you know what? Just bulldoze. Just come in and take it all down. And sometimes you have to do that, but I think most of the issues that go along with real estate is the education piece. And you have some individuals that are a one-man show. They're the realtor, they're the contractor, they're the HVAC, they're the electrician, they're the plumber. They're they they go shopping for, buying the furniture. You don't want that. You want a team. You want a group of individuals that see things differently, that are running the same race. So when we go see a deal, we all see different things. I look at the numbers. I look at, okay, what are we gonna put out? What is our investment? What is our rate of return? What is our strategy going in? And what is our strategy going out? And if all those things don't line up, we don't do it. Now that's my job. They're doing it. They may be setting up to, okay, well, what did the inspector say? Well, the inspector's going to be, the average inspection is between 475 and 650. Okay, so we're already 650 in it without even purchasing it. Then, you want to get a, a, a walkthrough appraisal, right? Because you can't do a full appraisal until you have a loan app. So you don't want to run the credit. So you have a walkthrough appraisal. It comes out at, 150. But the comps are very good in the neighborhood. It could be as much as 250. So we're already 650 in it. They want a certain amount compared to what they want compared to what we're going to offer them. Is it worth it? Once we do the after market repair value. If it's not worth it, and again, once again, business is not emotional. A lot of us in business that has been in business for quite some time, we understand that. But when we're rookies in it, we really, really, truly are very passionate about it, and we wear our heart on our sleeve. But when you got 15 years into something, you're like, look, it's either making money or it's not. And if it's not making money, I'm shutting it down. If it is making money, I'm gonna continue moving forward. But the younger version of you is like, no, I can make this work. I can do this. And you like, no, we can't make this work. You 50 grand in a hole for the past 6 years. Close it down. So the seasoned version of ourselves will always be that right hand side, because the seasoned version on the right, the younger version on the left. The younger version wants you to keep going. You're like, no, we could do this. You could change the game. The older version like, please stop. Please stop. Exit stage left. Get your money. Matter of fact, pay somebody to come get this. Like, just get it out of the way. And that's how you have to have it. Also, you need people in your life that will tell you no. You don't need Any yes men or women. If you got them in your life, you will have a rough life because you're not going to even know when you're doing something wrong because they all report to you. If you look in a circle and everyone in that circle is codependent of you, that's the wrong circle to be in because that means you the only person with money. That's the worst circle to be in. You got to be in the circle of truth to where you guys can have a respectable dialogue to where everyone understands but disagrees. Hey, Brian, I want to buy the property because of XYZ. Well, Brian, I don't want to buy the property because of XYZ. Well, Brian, I want to buy the property for XYZ. Okay, well, what does the numbers say? Well, the numbers say we shouldn't buy the property. Well, let's not buy the property unless they're going to come down. Well, if they come down 80,000, we can buy it because it's going to cost us 190 to get it up to code. You think they'll do an $80,000 decrease in the sale? Only thing we can do is ask. Contact the seller. Hey, we'd love to buy it, but when we ran the numbers, we can only offer you 40 grand. That's your final offer? Final offer, bro. You ain't gonna be able to do that. All right, man, good luck. If something else come around, let us know. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I get so many deals that come across our emails that's like, oh yeah, you want to buy this, you want to buy this. And the first thing I always ask the seller, when did you buy it? What upgrades? Is anybody living in it? And if all those are no, that means I know it's no cash flow. They're not making any money. Typically, it's always between that 3 and 5 year mark. Because the first 6 months, that's when you want to flip it, right? You buy it, you got an idea, you got your boy that say he do drywall. Right? You got your boy that say he do drywall, but when he figure out this is too big of a job for him, he lets you do like, yeah, I can't do this. You're like, wait a minute, I thought you could do it. No, I can't do this. So that takes 6 months out of you got your other boy that say he do electrical work, but he really don't. All he know how to do is plug in outlets, but he don't know how to run wire. He do not know how to run wire. You got your boy that's all he did, heating, air conditioning, HVAC, but he didn't graduate from school, so he don't know how to do that. Then you got your plumbing guy, it's your uncle. The only thing he know how to do is hook up and take out a plunger. So that's your team of experts. So when you figure out that don't work, that's when you're open to selling this property. That's when you call me. That's what I would tell you. Say, listen, how about this? How about we partner up? We write up a contract, we get it up and running. But we get reimbursed all of everything that we put in, and we split the profit 50-50. Or you can continue doing what you're doing. You know, so it's a lot of different ways that you can do real estate deals. But the biggest key is education. It's free. If you don't want to go to, we have some amazing seminars. We partner with the Startup CEO Seminar. They do a 12-week real estate seminar, and they walk you through construction. They walk you through funding. They walk you through business credit, personal credit. They walk you through getting your LLC. They walk you through getting your EIN. They walk you through partner with the bank. They walk you through the funding portion. They walk you through looking at architectural plans. They walk you through becoming your own GC, general contractor, right? And they do all of this so that way you won't make a $200,000 mistake. So imagine this. Imagine you go buy a property. It's your friends, right? So you're like, man, I got this property I want to buy. You want to buy. You're like, cool. It's on the South Loop. You're like, okay, South Loop, cool. It's a condo. You're like, okay, great. Condo, 2-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom. In your mind, you thinking Airbnb, I'm about to kill it. I'm about to kill a game. But come to find out the foundation is weak. And they got termites. You know what you got to do to that property? Gut it. You got to take everything that's in there out of there. That means down to the mold. That means you got to get permits up the wazoo. You got to know real deal Holyfield now. now you gotta call the phone book. You gotta call them guys. You gotta get the guys that says licensed contractor, licensed electrician, because they charge you to come out. They charge, hey, yeah, I want you to come and do an estimate. Yeah, that's gonna be $350. Please have that done. Please have that with you. When I get there, I'm gonna need that, and I'm gonna give you a receipt. But you gotta understand. And again, I'm gonna circle back to it all the time. The biggest key of any industry is understanding your field. So that's why tax season just started. So let's talk about it. For those that were very fortunate enough to get a tax return this tax season, a lot of us did not understand the tax codes. Why did earned income credit go down? Why did child tax credit go down? Why did self-employment tax went up? Why did certain things went along? Well, this is Biden's first tax year of his tax plan, right? The first year when he went and got into office, we were still under Trump's tax plan, right? So anytime a president takes office, the first year, it's always the president of the past that just lost tax plan. The new president tax plan doesn't come in until year 2 because that's what they have to vote on going into next year. So what you have to understand is you have to educate yourself. Most of us don't truly understand self-employment. They don't truly understand how beneficial owning a small business will help you. And if you do it the right way, to start an LLC in Illinois, it's $153 on CyberDrive. And if you expedite it, it's $100 extra. So you're looking at $253 plus an EIN that's free. So you can literally start an LLC, get an EIN, open up a checking account, a business checking account for less than $300. Now, what does that do for you tax-wise? That puts you in a whole different market. So if you start a landscaping company, if you start any business, now a third of what you do in your home is tax deductible. If you have more than one car, tax deductible. If you're going out, now you can have business lunches. When you're washing your clothes, and again, these are things that you can do to circumvent your tax liabilities that you have that you're already paying for. I'm not talking about fudging and making up stuff. And no, I'm talking about someone that really owns a business and that really is doing business activities, but they are not documenting them. They're just going out and willy-nilly in them. They're going out having the meetings. They're going out having the discussions. They're going out spending the money, but they're not keeping track of what they're doing. And they still have a 9-to-5 job that's making 80 grand. And they don't have any kids and they don't pay a lot in. They make about 80 grand. So 30% of that, you should be paying in about 16,000, but most of them don't. They pay about 4,000. And then they get mad at the end of tax season when they owe like 9,000. I'm talking to that person. I'm talking to the married couple that makes about 200,000, but they don't pay their fair share in. But the husband is a contractor on the side, and the wife is a caterer. They both don't have an LLC. All they do is take cash, and then they wonder why they owe. When they could put themselves in a position to where they wouldn't owe, their tax liabilities will come down tremendously if they just adjusted what they're doing. And also with tax deferment as well as allocation, most small business owners don't have retirement plans. They don't have Roth IRAs. I don't know why they don't, because guess what? They're tax deferred. You have to do it. Your job does it for you. When your job invests that money for you, why do you think they're doing it? You think they're doing it because they love you? Or is it a tax benefit for them to do it? So you have to understand that everything you do has to have a cause and effect, whether it's a good one or a bad one. Even for those that are making, say, $15 an hour, $20 an hour, you still have tax liabilities. So again, we about to take a break. But again, give us a call at 708-223-8953, and let's talk about real life situations. Let's talk about real estate situations. We would love to help you. This is the Financial Power Hour, and we'll see you soon.
Times change and I rhyme like I climb cages. Vibrant with my cadence, remind of my silent anguish. Take a whiff of the pine fragrance, my mind faded. They called and told me the slot's vacant, I'm not playing. If they thinking that I'm jaded, really we ain't no different. How we grew up on it. They know my tongue tragic. I kill tracks, it's a crime of passion. Pen to pad, that's my rite of passage. Call it fatal attraction. Complaining from the back, but you won't make it happen. They were mistaken when they ever said my taste was average. A savage, wipe my mouth on tablecloth, I hate napkins. The lights flash and I'm center stage. Yeah. The lights flash and I'm center stage. Yo. Seeing these bright lights higher above. Point the light up so we light up any darkness in your mind. Lights higher above. 1,000 lights could brighten any single room, just let them shine. Lights higher above. Point the light up so we light up any darkness in your mind. Lights higher above. 1,000 lights could brighten any single room, just let them shine. Lights flashing on center stage. I'm seeing the lights flashing on center stage. I'm seeing the lights flashing on center stage. I'm seeing these lights flashing on center stage. Hey, 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 the lights flashing on center stage. Hey. The lights flashing, I'm center stage. The lights flashing, I'm center stage. I tend to slay my pen a blade. When I'm enraged, I let them sway. Every punch hit, I'm harder than the last one. Smoke fill the room like we popped 1,000 cap guns. I got the magic touch, the way I tap drums. I talk cause it don't matter much, the truth will add up. Fat and sloppy, but he handsome. Loving that smooth black hair, no, he won't let you grab none. When those closest get fickle and they done see me brittle, you better off eating alone, don't give him a nibble. We ain't pulling up any chairs, as my lady rolls a fat one, let the lighter flick, this the anthem. Lights higher above. Point the light up so we light up any darkness in your mind. Lights higher above. 1,000 lights could brighten any single room, just let them shine. Lights higher above. Point the light up so we light up any darkness in your mind. Lights higher above. 1,000 lights could brighten any single room, just let them shine. Lights flashing on center stage. I'm seeing the lights flashing on center stage. I'm seeing the lights flashing on center stage. I'm seeing these lights flashing on center stage. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, this is Brian. This is Ownership Club coming back. And guess what? We're going to finish up on that short sales. So, again, give us a call, 708-223-8953. So, the question was asked, Brian, how do you find out about a lot of short sales? So, the easiest way to find out about a lot of short sales is to contact your local realtor. So, If I'm pretty sure most of us got a Facebook. I'm pretty sure most of us got an Instagram or a TikTok. Most of us, right? I would say most realtors have that. So I would say first look into your market, look into your network to see what friends you have that are realtors. Take them out to lunch. See how you can partner with them. Because you got to remember, if you want to find out about short sales, that means two things. That means you either got money or you got access to money. So that's number one. Number two, your realtor will definitely love that because they gonna start sending you everything they come across their desk because they want that what commission. So and it's okay for you to say, it's very simple. Hey, this is Brian. I know I haven't talked to you in a while, but I was really, wanting to get into the real estate market, and I was thinking about possibly, doing some short sale deals. I wanted to talk to you about that. Oh, okay, great. They go to immediately say, okay, when you want to talk, where you want to talk, let's meet for lunch. I'll buy. Oh, okay, cool. We can meet next Tuesday, 12 o'clock. Where you want to meet at? So I think that is the biggest avenue because they have a network um, in their market, and it's called the MLS that they can look through that you don't have access to, as well as a good realtor already has deals lined up. They already know potential buyers, potential sellers, because they already know the deals that didn't close. Every deal is not going to close. They may say, "Hey, I got a short sale deal for man. How much you trying to spend? What's your number?" And then what they'll do, they'll take your number and put that in their MLS and then see what deals can come out. As well as they will always access their realtors, and sometimes they'll do what's called a split commission. So if you're dealing with Brandon and he's your realtor, but Brandon contacts another realtor with another deal, but then you buy the deal, Brandon will do a split commission with that realtor. So everyone will get paid. But yeah, I think that's the biggest key is with short sale is getting that network, getting that language, going out to those meetings, going out to those lunches, meeting different investors, because you have to get involved in that dialogue. It's just like going, before we started American Dream Firearm and Safety, before I became an instructor, I had to know the lingo. I had to understand the conversation of firearms, before I could get a student. Now I can talk to you about AR-15s, Glocks, uh, Glock 17s, 45s, SIGs, suppressions, all of that. But prior to, I was like, I got to go to school and learn the lingo. So first, as a short sale, you got to understand that most of the good short sale deals you're never going to see. It's all relationship based. It's all, hey, I got a deal. Do you want it? What is it? It's a 3 unit. It's in the South Loop. It's worth 350. The seller wants 175, but he wants cash. Could you get that together? How long I got? Can you get that together? That's how quickly they go. They're not 30-day deals. They're typically 7 to 10 day deals. But I think the biggest key is letting your representation know your limits. So if your limits are between 10 and 50, now obviously you have to understand that those are your limits, then that limits you of getting access to a lot of volume. But then I would strongly suggest you partner with individuals that have your limits. So if you have between 10 and 50, but you find four other people, now you got 250. Now, now that little 50 you got turned into 250. Now imagine you went from buying uh, a 3 bedroom to a commercial space that has four commercial buildings and 4 bedrooms. That situation just went from earned income to wealth building, all in one deal, because you raised capital. You raised 250,000 cash. You bought it. You got the rehab. You partnered with someone. You figured it out, and now you're generating $15,000-$20,000 a month off of a cash real estate deal. That's how a lot of real estate deals happen. It's not about. A lot of people think it's about the money. That's about 30% of it. 40% of it is who you know. And the other 30% of it is just pure luck. Did I call you at the right time? Do you feel generous? Do you feel like helping somebody? Do I put you in a position to where someone that helped you years ago and you promised God that you'll help somebody else and you like, you know what? Brian, let me call you right back. I got something for you. If you ever been in those type of situations, that's when you know God real. Because wealth is either acquired or earned, right? Somebody left you they left you 100,000, and you went through it in 6 months because they didn't teach you about financial literacy. You're a trust fund baby. I know I don't have a trust fund. My son does, but I didn't. And our success is based upon hard work, which most of us have earned, right? But when you get older in life, and I've learned this from a lot of my clients, if you could get 20, 30 years off real estate, that's a great ride. That's a phenomenal. Think about that. You got 10 property, because most people don't understand the small wins. Let's talk about the small wins for a minute. Most people don't really realize it's the small wins that get us to that million. If you have a lot of small wins, you can get $1 million. But you got to maximize the small wins. Most of us want the big wins. They want the home runs, right? But Craig Griffey Jr., for those that know baseball, Ken Griffey Jr., I don't believe he never led the league in home runs. Ever. But he in the Hall of Fame. You get what I'm saying? I don't think he ever led the league in home runs. But arguably, he's one of the greatest baseball players to ever play the game. He's in the Hall of Fame. And if you mention his name, he's gonna be in your top 10 in any decade. You'll mention Barry Bonds, you'll mention Hanks and Andre Dawson and Sammy Sosa and a lot of guys, but Ken Griffey Jr. gonna be in that conversation of hitters. And it goes to show it's those little successes. You only have to start with one. If you start with one single family home, you get it for a good deal, you rent it, you get some good tenants, you take care of it, you show passion, you get your cash flow coming in. Is that first one going to get you $5,000? No. If your mortgage is $800, you may be getting $1,400. That's $600 a month. That's $7,200 a year in positive cash flow. Imagine if you did 10 of those. If you did 10 single family homes at that rate, that's $72,000 in positive cash flow. Anyone can do that. Now, let's just take the same model and you put it in a mixed unit or a multi-unit facet. So if a single family is doing 600, a multi-unit is probably doing 12 to 1,600 per unit. You still got one mortgage, but you got 4 properties. So your mortgage may be $1,300, but you getting $1,400 per unit. So all you're doing is doubling and tripling your profit. So, but the approach is still the same, and I think a lot of us, because of social media, we don't want to celebrate our small wins. You got to understand that celebrating your small wins, that's what's going to put you, you're going to look back in 5 years and 10 years and say, wow, we really have done something that we should be proud of. Over the course of 10 years, we've acquired 75 properties. We've helped 25 individuals become homeowners. We helped 10 individuals start their own real estate companies. And we've been able to raise over $1 million in real estate investment. If that's not a win, you tell me what's not a win then. But we can all do that. I think a lot of us don't get the fact that it's okay to ask a question. It's okay to be humble. It's okay to ask for help, right? A lot of us think, oh, if I ask him for help, I seem vulnerable. No, you seem human. I don't know 1 million that did it by himself. And if you did do it by himself, you never see him because he's dead tired. But for those that understand the value of teamwork, that's the greatest way to do it. I'm telling you, the greatest way to acquire and build wealth is to build it with a team. Because you don't have to do all the heavy lifting. At the ownership club, we truly embody ownership for all. Raymond Batts, and I'm gonna go down the line. Raymond Batts, he owns Unified Legacy, which that is a not-for-profit, and he does seminars. He does jail ministry. He does gentrification in neighborhoods on the west side. He does back-to-school giveaways, give backs. He does grant writing for small businesses, and also he's doing special projects with other non-for-profits. And he'll also help individuals start their own non-for-profit. So he has that. That's Unified Legacy. He also has Phoenix Rising. That's his for-profit organization. They're partners with business funding, as well as a tax franchise with American Dream Tax, as well as he's a real estate investor. And also, he's a biologist on his day-to-day operation, right? So that's just Raymond. You got Chablis. He's the owner of My Radio Chicago, his own radio platform. He's a teacher at Illinois Media School. He's a DJ. He's an artist and a songwriter. That's Chablis. You got that girl, Olivia. She owns the Biz magazine. She just started her own radio platform. She has her own YouTube channel called Live. And she has an amazing way of taking a small business and give them that oomph for marketing. So if you need some marketing, Olivia can definitely help you. You got me. I am from South Side of Chicago, a product of Stone Tez, 84th and Parnell. I'm not from the suburbs. I went to Gary A. Morgan Elementary School, graduated from KUMAT in 1997, started American Dream Tax in 2007, and we have 96 offices, and we are going to have 500 offices this coming tax season, where we help businesses and individuals get into the tax world without actually doing taxes. We have a virtual assistant platform to where if you do have a job or if you do have a lot of things going on, you can tap into the tax industry and do some amazing things. and we love that. I encourage any and everyone to get involved in the tax industry because everyone is involved in it. Whether you paying taxes or you saving taxes, you still involved. So that means you recognize the value of saving money, but do you recognize the value of earning money with taxes? So I've owned that since 2008. 4 years ago, we wanted to get involved in firearm safety, and I lost my mom, and I really needed a different focus. I didn't want it to be taxes anymore, and I said, hey, you know what? I need a different type of focus. So I put myself in school to learn how to become an instructor for concealed carry. So we launched American Dream Firearm and Safety. So I own that, and I have allowed, and I partner with Raymond Batts again, Orlando Renfrey, to become firearm instructors in the Chicagoland market. I own U-Hauls. So with the American Dream Tax, I own two U-Haul companies, which obviously you know what U-Hauls are. I also own a moving company along with the U-Hauls. So we have American Dream Moving Company. Also, we have real estate. So we have American Dream Real Estate. I'm a real estate investor, and I own several properties in the Northwest area, as well as I'm a part owner of an investment group, American Dream Investment Group, to where we have a small group of investors that come and gentrify areas through real estate. And this is all with the Ownership Club. We have um, several different radio platforms that we are on. And no, it did not start just yesterday. No, it did not start 20 minutes ago. We're going on our fifth year. And I'm saying that to say anyone could do this. The biggest key is not giving up. The biggest key is keep going. Do we have a lot of hardships? Absolutely. And I will share them all with you. If you call in, I can share you some great stories about how we've had lights get cut off. We've had, during COVID, we almost lost our show because they still wanted us to pay the bills, but we couldn't go on. We couldn't go on the show. So wait a minute. You want us to continue to pay, but we can't even broadcast. How that gonna work? So you really taking money from it. And that went all the way up to that was a real hard pill to swallow because it's like we're not doing that. Like the studio is closed. Everyone's at home and some of the radio stations were shut down. All they were doing, they're going in there play music. So the listeners could listen to the music and whoever had access to the information, they would just move the equipment and take it home. But the actual shows were postponed unless they would let us go in and pre-record. But most of the times you couldn't because when you under, when I'm talking about deep in COVID, so we almost lost our show, but we didn't let it stop us. We kept going. We kept moving forward. So regardless of what your situation is, we understand. But we came out swinging, and now we're on the other side. So when it comes to financial literacy, we can help you. When it comes to taxation, we can help you. I understand what it feels like to make $7 an hour to what we make now. But it doesn't change who we are. It doesn't change the level of commitment that we have. If anything, we're more committed because we want more individuals to see what true wealth building is. And you only are going to do that with education and a team. God first. Sorry about that. God first, education and a team. And that's why, it's very important for the seminar that we have in reference to taxes on June 3rd. And again, it's June 3rd, 93rd and Cicero. We're partnered with the Oak Lawn Hilton. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 12. And we have some great, 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 phenomenal information for you. You know, if you want to be a part of that, text us at 630-926-0394. And that's that tax masterclass. Also, if you want to have a conversation with me, when we come back, we're gonna talk about the violence in Chicago. We're gonna segue over to. I'm not sure if you guys saw what took place over at the beach, but we're gonna touch base into that as soon as we come back. It's the Financial Power Hour, the Ownership Club.
Echo, don't wanna let it go. Echo, don't wanna let you go. Echo, don't wanna let you go. Echo, 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 don't wanna let it go. Echo, don't wanna let you go. Echo, don't wanna let you go. Echo, echo. I must admit, girl, I'm nervous. It's kinda hard to determine, but I don't care, girl, I'm all in, all in, all in. I stand where you can see me. No playing, girl, believe me. I mean it. Echo, don't wanna let it go. Echo, don't wanna let you go. Echo, don't wanna let you go. Echo, 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 don't wanna let it go. Echo, don't wanna let you go. Echo, don't wanna let you go. Echo. You're telling me that you're nervous. Will it last? No discernment. But you don't care, cause you all in. I'm all in. We all in. I stand where you can see me. Through ups and downs, believe me. Not moving, believe it. I'm not gonna leave. Echo, don't wanna let it go. Echo, don't wanna let you go. Echo, don't wanna let you go. Echo, echo, don't wanna let it go. Echo, don't wanna let you go. Echo, don't wanna let you go. Echo, don't wanna let it go. Echo, don't wanna let you go. Echo, don't wanna let you go.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This your boy, Brian Fleming, over at the Financial Power Hour on IntellectualRadio.com. And guess what? I got an amazing guest in the building. Wanda B, what's going on?
Nothing much. What's going on with you, Brian?
Man, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence.
Oh, I thank you. I'm excited to be on the Financial Hour.
Man, listen, I thank you because if it wasn't for individuals like you, we would not be here.
All right.
So a lot of people got to, I'm going to give you your flowers while you're here.
Oh, well, thank you. I
I've
love
heard-
flowers.
I've heard nothing but great things about you. And also, when I spoke to Born Rich, he sung your praises. So I wanted to say that live on air.
Oh, how
You
sweet.
are very loved and liked in this area.
Thank you.
So now, this is going to be a very uncomfortable topic for some, not for us, but we got to talk about this, right? So let's talk about the violence that's in Chicagoland area. I don't know if you saw just a couple days ago, if not yesterday, a picture over at the beach to where two individuals lost their life at the beach.
Wow.
So please, if you listen to us, give us a call, 708-223-8953, because we definitely want you to chime in on this. Because the question is, if you could give Brandon Johnson, our new elected mayor, some advice on how to stop the violence in Chicago, what would you do?
That's a very good question. What would I do to stop the violence?
What would you do?
I don't. I'm gonna throw this right back at you. I'm gonna take a second to think because I haven't thought about what I would do
Hmm.
necessarily. What would you do?
You know
What
what?
is your advice to Brandon John Mayor?
Man, I'm an extremist.
Ooh,
I would institute martial law. I would institute curfews. I would institute a lot of things that will. Could I say piss off? Could I say that? Okay, that will piss off the left and the right wing. But I don't care about that. I care about the safety of every kid, every adult, every child that goes home. So you would literally see a member of the United States Armed Forces with the M16. Right. When I'm talking about martial law. So I'm talking about bypassing police. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if you saw the movie with
no.
Denzel Washington. Okay, so it was a movie. I forgot what it was called, but he was an FBI agent and they did a bombing. They instituted martial law. I'm talking about on this corner that we on right now, you will see a member of the military.
Now, this is my issue with that. Now,
Yes.
I totally love the
Hmm.
impact it would have, but would they be fair across the board and not just have it affect African American children and they're the ones being shot down in the streets with this martial law? As long as you see a child with a hoodie, and next thing you know, they're not being that diligent with people of all races. And I get so nervous when we do things like that because
Hmm.
I feel like with the good comes some bad.
Absolutely. So I think, you got to remember the police job is to respond. The FBI job is to defend. The U.S. Army, their job is to protect. That's a totally different mindset. You have to understand also, if there's a curfew, the element that's outside right now, they're gonna stay their ass at home. They're not coming outside with the little Glock 17. If I look down the street and I see on every corner, I'm talking about Chicago. I'm not talking about South Side, West Side. I'm talking about Chicagoland area. Because you got to say to yourself, okay, let's break down the murders. Let's break down useless killings in a 3 month span where they're located. They're gonna be scattered across the board. They're gonna be on the west side, the south side, downtown, up north. They're gonna be everywhere. We're gonna take that and we're gonna maximize that. So I don't care if it's 2,000 U.S. military officials or 1,000 or 5,000, but one life can't get lost
I think it would absolutely deter because if you
because the police is not the problem. Because you got to remember this: the crime has already happened. That's what people don't get. It's already happened. If if someone runs in here right now with a gun and kills us, we're already dead.
so what would that look like when you say that I forgot which one you said they would do. They protect.
Yeah, protect.
So if their job is to protect, how is that different than responding? Because if you have to protect, you have to respond.
Well, no. It's okay. So you got preventative, you got pre and post, right?
Yes.
So again, the police, the crime has already happened. The army, the crime is haven't even happened before. They're there now. So if martial law is given, first of all, the governor is the only one that can do that. Not the mayor. The governor has to. The governor or the president has to institute martial law. So then he's going to say, you know what? We about to deploy 5,000 troops in the Chicagoland area. We're gonna do 12-hour shifts.
And they're out to
They
protect
out there
the
to put
streets.
exactly.
The
They're out
people
there
out
to
on the streets
yes.
daily
I
that you can feel safe walking down the street because on every corner
every corner.
is
Every
someone
corner.
there protecting
And
you.
if they need to
That
go,
sounds
if
good.
they
I
need to,
like that
if they need
idea.
to go door to door to wipe out whoever they need to wipe out. Because my thing is this: I'm a concealed carry instructor. I don't want to pull my firearm on nobody to kill them, but I will if I have to. These individuals that are killing people, they're not even killing the people they want to kill.
Right. They're not trained
They're
marksmen.
killing random people. I don't know if you saw the video it's so sad because they're on the beach.
I did
And
not see it.
so you can look it up on Facebook, but if you look it up, it's going to be very sad because it's like maybe 30 seconds. They didn't even exchange dialogue. It was one side. They was walking up. One had a hand signal. Next thing you know was 4 shots. And then you see the police running towards.
Wow. I do think if they did it that way, it would be an instant solution.
Yeah.
I think when I think of some things, what I would try to implement, they're long term solutions. I do think if they did that, that would instantly
Instant.
stop.
Instant.
So it kind of makes sense to do
Yeah.
because it would, if you were planning to come out on the street that night and now you saw these people on your corner,
You're not going.
you're not going.
not
So
going.
it would be an absolute instant.
You are not about to play with that dude on that corner with that M16 because first you got to remember he's not trained to talk you down. That's a different type of scenario. See, you're thinking about, oh, sir, come out, please, no. They're gonna blow your head off. They're not trained to negotiate.
And that concept gets through anyone's mind. I don't have to
Oh yeah.
reason with you to understand that this person will kill you. You don't need, all intellects can understand, whatever age range
I don't
can
know if you-
understand that
Yes.
they're not they're just clearing the house of anybody doing any wrongdoing. And so it's kind of simple. To me, that is a very clear cut, quick solution to it. And then once you get them off the streets for a while, now, how does that affect then long term? Or do you implement that short term and then start implementing the long term?
I think definitely you got to do it over the summer. If
they do that this summer, summer would be different.
That's a 90-day plan. Every day, 12 hours, different shifts, all summer.
All summer. Just tell you that you will know which corners they on, and if you do it on every corner, then the kids are not going to be there.
Because you got to realize this: while you're doing that, you're not taking away from, because two things you got to remember: the police is not at 100%, right? We all know that in Chicago. So you're not taking away from police activity if you do that. Now the police can literally focus on criminals. We can say, you know what? Now we can have a task force to rid our streets. Now we can implement a task force and effectively do it.
Then you can go in, because like you said, that decision would be something more on the level of state level.
Yes.
With the governor, and then you can then have Brandon Johnson work on his things for the city, and then each suburb could work on theirs because they got the people on the streets in their areas.
Make
Sounds
Chicago
like we'd have a different summer if that were the case.
Make Chicago great again.
Okay, I like that idea. I would love to know your opinion on what recently happened, and I don't know if you're aware of the conversation that Father Flager had, that he wanted to implement that the churches should have things for the children implemented for the community for children. If they don't, they should lose their tax incentives. And the people are kind of upset. The churches are like, stay out of this. You are wrong. Why we shouldn't?
Well, I think
one shouldn't be with the other.
Yeah. I could look at it two different ways. I come from a small church. God rest my godfather's soul. I'm a PK.
Oh, okay.
So Benny Chapman, Holy Bethel Christian Church, 909 East 75th Street. That's the church I was born into. And I don't even think that should even be a question. I feel that should be mandatory. Number one, why are you a church? Number two, why are you not serving your community? Number two, if we have to make you do community service, that's a problem in itself. So then you got to say to yourself, okay, well, why are you a church? Like, I don't even understand that. I don't even understand why that's even a topic of discussion from a church standpoint.
I found it very interesting. This morning I was listening to
like, how many plates are you gonna sell? No, for real. Because
what is your true goal of your church?
I just wish somebody listen, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Whatever your goal is, I don't care if your goal is to rip people off. I could respect you more if you said it.
If you just were
I could
honest
respect you
that
more.
this is a business. Our
It,
church is a business.
that's it. You could
That
just say
I
that.
run my church like a business.
That's it.
And we
And
understand
get
business.
and let me decide if I want to support you. Let me decide if I want to donate my money, because the black church for some of us was a safe haven, was a circle of peace, was joy. It meant so much to us because we all were broke. Back in the day, the pastor didn't drive a Bentley. Some churches, the pastor didn't even have a car.
I know ours lived on our the actual campus of our school, and so everybody was welcome into his home because he lived right there.
Yeah, they
And
they didn't. They
it
had old
wasn't
station wagons, old Cadillacs. They did stuff on the side. They worked. Most pastors back in the day had full-time jobs, and they were full-time pastor. Most pastors. They didn't.
the
They line
church wasn't their
exactly.
income
They line if they
stream.
saying they didn't, because most churches started with less than 50 members. So you cannot supplement your income off of 50 members that's only tithing 10%.
Of their income, so which
And
means
it's
they're
going to
barely
the,
working.
so remember,
Yeah,
it's going to the church. It's not going to your
it's
pocket.
going to the
It's,
lights and the gas
thank
and
you.
the keeping the church actually running.
It's the nuances of what's going on now. It's other funding that's been going on, right? So a lot of churches are tapping into grants and other programs that most members don't even know.
So what wound up happening is that we were listening to Dorothy Tillman this morning, and she was upset with the concept of taking away tax dollars from churches if they didn't do this, and I couldn't find what she was so mad about. I didn't get a chance to call in.
I could tell you what it is. As an
What is
accountant,
it?
it's a hidden agenda. I give you an example. Most churches, and I'm surprised we're not about to get a call when I say this. Most churches have a board. So I give you an example. He's the pastor. You his wife. I'm his son. He's the pastor. You on the trustees. I'm a trustee, and we got his deacon on the trustee. We'll never kick our dad off.
Of
You and
course not.
That's how most churches are built.
The
So
infrastructure underneath
the
who he
infrastructure
answers to
is
is all his family
that's it.
and
It's
friends.
always like that.
Yeah.
So now the uh the secretaries, the financial secretary is either a trusted friend, an accountant, his boy, somebody that he knows he can trust. So when it comes down to the minutes, most churches don't even know what the church got.
Wow.
Think about it. Most churches, when they have their minutes, they don't have their financials in there.
That's not anything they on paper
Why
talked about.
why not?
Why don't they discuss
Why
that?
don't
Good
they? Why
question.
don't they?
Well, I know I have an idea
You know,
why
I
not.
know why they don't. Why?
Right.
But you gotta say to yourself, it's a reason why they don't want to disclose why the church got 2.5 million in assets or 1.9 million in a checking account. But yet
We
they
still
don't.
need money for the roof
Man, stop
next
playing.
Sunday.
Or they don't want. Or they got 20 people in the church that's getting evicted, and the
And that's
church only
sad.
give $50 uh give $50 per offering or whatever. It makes you to the point. It gets you so frustrated to where I understand. I don't agree, but I understand a lot of people have turned their way from the church
I
because I don't agree with any pastor having a lifestyle of luxury when your flock is struggling.
I agree with that. Now, and when we talk about your flock struggling not only financially but by the ways of the community, that these kids are out in the community behaving all
Absolutely.
different kind of ways
If
while
if
their
the
parents are in church.
if the pastor got a Bentley, that means it's 20 other. If the pastor is riding around in a Bentley, that means he has unlocked financial literacy, right? He's unlocked financial wealth. That means that church had better be doing financial seminars once a week. I want to see Bentleys, Maseratis, G Wagons, all of. I better not look at it because if you, this is one thing I do when I visit the church. I go look at the pastor's car, and then I look at the average cars in the lot. And if it's not even on the same level, I'm not even going in because I know it's a hidden agenda. Because my thing is this: if I got 4 cars, I want you to have 6. I want him to have 5. If I own 5 properties,
and I want to teach you how.
At least gotta have 3.
I want our children off the streets. If
but that's what's gonna happen.
The money to do that, it would trickle down.
That's gonna happen with the byproduct of financial literacy is you provide your children with a better life. Vacation. I don't know about you. I didn't even go on vacation when we were little. You know what vacations was for us? The Park District, summer camp. That was vacation for us. Now I can take my son to Wisconsin or Disney World or Florida. We can afford that then. So if I earn more, I can show you more. I can say, hey, listen, you don't own real estate? Let me show. Matter of fact, I'm going to help you buy your first property. I'm going to invest with you.
Teach
I'm
you
gonna
and
do the
invest.
deal with you. But what are you doing if you're not doing that? So for me,
if you get mad about it, you get mad at the idea of someone telling you that you should have programs for the youth.
I kind of feel like that. Well, again, most people don't know this. Most churches have already grants given by the city and by the federal government because they've already given information. They've been accepting grants for years.
So if who then polices whether they turn these grants into what they got the monies for?
Who polices it? No one. The financial secretary, the program director.
So of their own entity, not of the.
They typically. So this is how it works. You have the pastor, you have the church, the entity, you have the non-for-profit. That's the head. Under the church, they may have 6 or 7 different organizations. They may have a men's ministry, a women's ministry, a children's ministry, a music ministry. Then they'll have grants that hit those accounts. They'll have one person over all that. Typically, that person gets a salary or they'll get paid as a stipend, and then they decide where the money goes. They may not do any programming. They may not, but the paperwork is put in.
It says that it does, that they do.
But they may not do anything. So, when I tell people all the time, you have to look at the paperwork.
Follow the money, and they say, and
because think about it. A lot of these churches are vaulted ceilings. They $20 million properties.
But and their communities aren't looking or shaping up to be what the money in this church is.
I can't respect that. I don't care if it's Father Flager. I don't care who it is. If we, Jesus said he wanted us to be the lender, not the borrower, right? So if I could teach you I don't have to be a pastor to teach you that. That's financial literacy. Do you want a gross? Do you want a net blessing or a gross blessing? I don't have to be your pastor to teach you that. That's me caring about you and me want you to get better. But if they choose not to do that, then I do agree with Father Flecker to say, okay, well, what are you doing? What are you doing with your 501c3 status? What have you been doing okay, you're not doing it now. Let's go back 20 years. What have you been doing for the past 20 years? What programs have you been
And if you haven't done it, if we say from this day forward.
And if you haven't done it, just say you haven't done it.
And from this day forward, though, to keep getting these monies.
But the reason why they don't want you to see is because they've been getting money.
And not doing anything with
it. That's just like if me and you dating, right? I'll give you an example. Me and you dating right now. We've been dating for 10 years. And you say, baby, let me see your cell phone. And I go cold turkey on you. Well, you want to see my phone? Well, you my man. I want to see your phone. You say you can see mine. I'm like, nah. It's a reason. It's a reason why I don't want you to see my phone. It's just like it's a reason why they don't want us to see their books.
Right. They don't because they know what's in there.
Because you got to remember, no one audits the church's books. The church discloses what they wish. Most churches don't even know what the pastor make. They don't even know what the first lady make. The deacons. the choir director, the bands.
And
And that's okay. If you think your ministry is worth $100,000 a year, amen. But I got a problem if everybody in this church is struggling.
it's struggling and you're making it. I really absolutely have a problem with that. And if your community, if I look outside and see the kids all outside
Man,
doing
I better see
hanging out, and I
Spelman.
don't
I better see UIC, Springfield, Eastern, Western, North. Come on now, church. I mean, my thing is most of this stuff is free. The question is they're not doing the work. So it's like, again, I think Father Flegger is unfortunate. It's unfortunate that he's white. That it's a white man saying this.
well, that's maybe another thing why people are maybe kind of upset. I think the words of Dorothy Tillman this morning is he stepped out of bounds, or he's out of order. He's out of order commenting on
He's not
the
out of
black
he's not out
churches.
of order.
Uh,
He's a man of God, and he feels what he feels is right by him.
and he's also in our communities. He's also at
Man,
Heart of Inglewood. He's in
that
the trenches with us.
what other pastor other than Father Flegg and Meeks? Meeks and what's the other one name that's real popular right now?
Otis Moss is
No,
Trinity.
the one
What's the one over on
Meeks
6
and
Dorchester?
he's like South. He in Naperville. He real popular.
I don't know. I was thinking Bill Winston, but he's not in Naperville. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean,
I don't
but
know my ministers.
yeah,
I must say.
Flegger been around.
Forever.
Yeah,
Well, not forever, but at
not
least
at least 25.
40.
I
He's
said
been around
minimum.
my whole youth. He's been in the area he's in, and he's fought for his neighborhood. And he has programs. He's talking what he does. He has programs for youth. And if we're talking that we're trying to reduce violence, why would any church be against
Because they don't want to
doing
do it.
things that would reduce violence?
They don't
in
want to
this
do
area?
it. So a lot of those, I guarantee you, a lot of those pastors don't even live nowhere near. Could you imagine if your pastor had a church on 16th in Dorchester and he lived in Matson?
Oh, and I can think of one right now that lives in this beautiful, amazing gated community in Tinley Park, but has a church in the heart of the city. So, with living way outside the means of his average
They don't
parishioner.
They don't have nothing going on other than Sundays. They don't do Bible study. They don't do. They come to that church for 2 hours because the pastor doesn't run the church. The deacons and the assistant pastor run the day-to-day operations.
So when we talk about crime in the city and maybe reducing crime, especially with the summer coming and warm weather, we know that brings more crime. I think your idea was fabulous.
Oh yeah,
I think
you need martial law. And I say that I stand on that. I say that to anybody. You need to put fear, because you got to realize now the criminal that's around now is not the criminal that was 20 years ago.
What's the difference?
They're younger and they know they're not getting life. I'm 44 years old. I'm not doing 20 years. But I can go give somebody $5,000 at 17 and they'll kill somebody.
And he'll be charged as a minor. He won't get
he's gonna be out in 20 years.
He'll be out. He won't even get
see if he gets 20 years. He out when he's 35. He got 5,000. He don't got nothing. He don't even got a high school diploma. He don't got no kids. Who gonna miss him?
Now, so families. So if we say, okay, let's implement martial law, so should anything be brought on to families to do more policing of? So if there are curfews, there are obviously right now there are parents who do implement curfews in their own homes.
You take all that out. You take all that away, because you got to realize this. That you got to remember, the age of the mom now is not the age of a mom 20 years ago. My mom was 35 years older than me, so my mom was 35. You got mothers now that's 17. You got 20-year-olds with 4-year-olds. They kids.
Their children
trying
to raise children.
That means your grandmother is 41. Your great grandmama is 55.
Great grandmother, wow.
Right. Think about it. Right. So that's the community that's now. There's no police in the community. A 19-year-old don't know how to police another 7-year-old. In a different world, that'd be your sister.
So what do you think should be done? Should anything be brought upon parents to also because if we're saying the average criminal now is so much younger, the parents obviously need some help in raising or
I
doing
just, I
something
just,
with
I
these
just think
children.
more. I think just like if a dog bites you, if I have a dog and my dog bites you, you can sue me. I think the same thing should apply. I think if a 15-year-old or 16-year-old go out and kill somebody, the parent should be charged. How many parents are gonna let that happen?
Well, I I'm a mother and I know that
Could you imagine the prosecuting attorney calling you like, yeah, your daughter slapped this lady. We gonna press charges for battery, and you gonna get one. You gonna be like, what?
you will get a hold of your child now because if that meant you going to jail, then
I mean, at what point? How many people do we need to lose? Because
and
it's not working. No program is gonna work because you got to attend the program.
do you think schools should do anything differently?
Nope. Because you got to remember again. When I was in school, when I went to Garrett A. Morgan in '93, the average the teacher's age from student to teacher was almost 30 years. My teachers, when I was 13, they were in their 40s.
Oh wow.
Think about when you was in grammar school.
I think mine were rather young.
No, man, I was old.
Mine were young.
So think about the age group now. It's teachers that's in their 20s.
Right.
So it's teachers that's teaching grammar school to high school. It's not even 30. But they're teaching kids that's between 10 and 15. They got siblings their age.
Right. I mean, as
That's
they get out of college and going straight into the field of teaching, it's definitely younger teachers. And
mhm.
at the same time, I think teachers should just focus on teaching. I don't think their job should implement trying to change the behavior at your home. But I do think something has to change. And one way to enforce those curfews is if that curfew then is passed down to the parent that if you didn't, I think that if
Yeah, if
I,
it's a curfew, you gonna have less crime. You're gonna have more time dealing with because some parents don't even see their kids when they get up. Like I give you an example. God bless my mama soul. My mom was a functioning alcoholic, so I never knew my mom sober. I thank God that I had people in my life. I would get up and I would have basketball. We would have. I was a 3-time athlete, so I played basketball, football, and baseball. So we would have practice before school. So I would have to get up at 4:35 in the morning to practice at 6, go to school, come back, practice after school, then I go work for the park district. So my mom wouldn't see me till almost 10 o'clock that night. This is Monday through Friday.
One thing I like about that story, though, that is part of the issue today, is it goes hand in hand where we're talking about having programs for the kids. You had something to do and somewhere to go that wasn't on the streets, and made sure that it was before school, so it caught you before you
Sports,
got in
yeah, I
the.
had sports.
And if what if someone isn't into sports? Let's say, but if these programs were at their church, or they made sure you didn't have time when you're in sports, you really don't have time to
Yeah, the
get in the
devil,
streets.
the devil didn't like the one thing that my mentor always told me. He said people find themselves in trouble when they don't have a schedule. And to this day, I'm 44. I'm too tired for the devil to tempt me. By the time when I go home, I'm like, look, devil, I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
He like,
T-
okay,
t-
Brian.
for real,
On to
man.
find the other.
Yeah, tempt me tomorrow because, but see, this is what it did for me. So when I was in grammar school, I played basketball. I played for the Park District, Garrett A. Morgan. So we played Foster Park, Braining, all the grammar schools across the city. So when I went to KU, I excelled at basketball and football, and we did the same thing. So then I was in Who's Who of America. I was in Gifted Strategies. So I didn't have time. I didn't have time to have a girlfriend.
But what was so
So,
important with that is that your mom wasn't around, but you
it
didn't
did,
wind up in the streets.
God,
And
yeah.
that's what we're asking for children. I think that's exactly why we're
But they
saying we
gotta want
need
it
the
though. They gotta want it. They gotta want it. They listen. The one thing I could tell you, it's just like I'm gonna give you an example. You a woman, you single, you got a man standing in front of you. You know this man is a good man. You know he gonna take care of you. You know he gonna provide, but you don't want to be with him. You ain't gonna be with him because in the back of your mind, you gonna be like, he nice, but I don't want him.
I still think with children.
It's the same. It's the same. They gotta. They have.
Well, this is what I was going to say. With children, what it will take is they may not want that, and that's good. She may not
Mhm.
want him. But if you give them choices, and I may not be into sports, but if my church offered piano, offered gymnastics, offered this, I could find what I do like instead of trying to force me to like this one. I may not like him, but if there were options, and that's why I said if all these churches had different programs, kids could find what they do like.
I think also the entertainment. I
Or
think. I
entertainment
think. Well, when I say entertainment, I think because of social media and all these platforms now, the entertainer, the rapper,
is more enticing.
they well, no, they're more. They more popular than mommy and daddy.
It's more enticing to be a
Yeah,
rapper.
because look at John Morant.
I don't know who that is. Is
He's
that the man with the gun
yeah,
that keep
yep,
doing
yep,
stuff with the gun over and
yep.
over again?
And he's I believe he's like 22 years old, and he's had several instances. Now this is a guy who prior to the NBA, he's never had any issues. Mother, daughter, mother, father is in his life, close knit family, no issues. As soon as he get his money, now he going crazy. So these little kids, they see that. They see that, they try to mimic that. They don't kids don't do what you tell them, they do what they see. So now you got daddy and mama arguing. Me and you don't like each other, but we got Junior. You don't do nothing. I work for CTA. I don't got no money. We struggling. He don't want to see that. He want to see John Morant driving around in fancy cars. So their attention span is totally different. I think to change the mindset now of the youth, it's going to take more than just the mom and the dad. It's going to take those influences that the kids listen to. It's going to take, I'll give you an example. What brought Barack Obama in office in 2008 was hip hop because Puffy, Jay-Z made it cool to go vote. That's powerful.
So do you think then it is because I also there's another show here at Intellectual Radio that discussed this once, and they said that those people shouldn't be role models, or that we shouldn't he shouldn't even he shouldn't be a role model, and also he shouldn't be penalized for doing things like
Yeah,
that. But
he
I
should be
do
he
think
should be
that
penalized.
you are, whether you want to or not, you're looked at as a role
They're
model
role models by default
by default.
because of the platform they have and because of the access. Because you just went from John Morant, the guard at whatever school he went to John Morant, the $250 million man. Come on now.
And for every child that plays a sport, that's their goal,
I
like to
don't
wind
even.
up there.
You don't even have to know the sport to know who he is, because the NBA is pushing. They're pushing. They're pushing. I'll give you an example. Just like they're pushing this. I don't even know the word. Metrosexual in our school systems. They don't want a boy or a girl.
The he,
Yeah,
they,
yeah, yeah,
the pronouns
yeah.
that people go by now.
That is such a horrible situation to be in. I'm old school. My son. Not for I don't. It's certain things I'm not bending, borrowing, or begging for. I'm an old school guy. I believe in the Bible, Jesus, and my son goes to a private school. And the first thing I asked the principal, I said, "What do y'all believe in?" He told me. I said, "He coming to this one."
You found when.
And I think we as consumers, just like how when Colin Kaepernick didn't get a job, when George Floyd, Sandra Bland, we need to hold these entertainers the same way, because Puffy and Jay-Z and Rick Ross, they don't mentor our kids, but our kids follow them. Our kids want to be like them. to the point to where they'll put themselves in situations that they know they shouldn't be in, but because they want street cred or because they want to be looked at like a boss. So we have to put more pressure on them.
The Morants
Just
to
just like the LGBT. What? You know how much pressure the LGBT community put on Kevin Hart when he said that joke in Russia? They made him apologize.
right.
It's the same way. If we really talking about saving the youth, there's nobody should be above reproach. If I say something crazy, I have a platform. I have an amazing platform, and I'm mindful of what comes out of my mouth because I understand somebody is listening to me at all times. So I'm not gonna ever talk bad upon the working class because that's me. I'm never gonna not talk about gentrification because I lived it.
And also, you know that you're a role model to the people who turn to you for advice and knowledge. You know that you're that person.
Do we got a caller? Okay, but no, I think we just have to hold each other. We have to hold ourselves more accountable. We have to make sure that we love hard. Your kids are not your friends. We have to expect more from ourselves.
And I also implore you if you can't do it though, because let's say there's someone like your mother who, but find a good place, and drop your kid.
Man,
Let
listen,
somebody else
yeah,
do it. Maybe I mean, if you can't do it, everybody parenting isn't for everyone, and unfortunately, they may be a parent. But I love that even though your mother was doing it, she still put you in the right path to have
yeah,
somebody
mm-hmm,
help you out.
yeah,
Because that was one of the best things that could have happened for you to be so involved in those sports that the devil didn't have time for you because they
man,
got time for all these
yeah,
other kids.
man. I was in church. I was after sports. I was in Bible study Wednesday night, choir rehearsal Thursday, Sunday church,
But
gifted strategy Saturday
but
afternoon.
that's what I think Father Flager is asking these
Yeah,
churches to have is
yeah,
even if it's not religious, but have this thing so that we can help
man.
take these kids off the streets.
My schedule was so. It was now that I'm 44. I look back and I'm like, how did I maintain that for 4 years? Because I literally had I had a girlfriend I didn't see for 2 years. She went to a different school. And she was like, I can't even be mad. Like her exact words were, I can't even be mad at you because it's not like you out here doing other things. You literally are doing things every single day of the week. Like I had no days off.
But I think that's important. That is
Yeah.
so important. Yes, that may be overwhelming, but you had no time to go snatch a purse or to
None of that.
carjack a
None of
person.
that.
And as we talk about Father Flager and your people get mad that churches aren't doing this, where they have the monies to
Yeah,
set
they
up
do.
these programs
They do.
and to create places, safe havens for multiple children. So we put the martial law out on the streets. But now, what are they even doing at home? I mean,
Right.
what makes them not come out? What do you?
Well, the martial law is going to make them not come out. Now,
But now, what are you
the
going to do
time,
with them while
right?
they in there?
Now, so what you hope for in that situation is that now the mother, the father, the son, the uncle, the auntie, now I can really know you.
And
'Cause
if I can't know you, go find somewhere that will.
yeah, yeah,
I
'cause
mean,
I
your
think
mother couldn't get to. She
absolutely,
didn't have the capability to really sit and know you, but she dropped you off at a place and said, "Here, take care
yeah,
of my baby." Because
yeah.
I
And I was
and
there,
do that. Find
yeah.
places for people could drop off their babies.
Man, it's definitely needed because I know so many people. Like now, my work ethic now is the same. You know, I can't do one thing. Like I feel lazy if I like I don't understand the mindset of someone that only has a job.
What they say about an idle mind, and I think, but to go back and people would go, "Oh, your mother was so." But at the same time, when you say your mother's background, people would be shocked. But at the same time, there is some kudos to still setting you up
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
in a place that she
yeah.
can still kind of do what she
Oh, she
did,
ain't
but
have
how you
to.
taken
Yeah,
care of.
yeah. She
And
ain't
that's
have to
what
worry
I
about
think
it.
we really need to implore parents and find things for these parents to help them be better parents when they can't do it
Yeah,
themselves.
absolutely, man. It's just one of them things to where, once you set a schedule and once you maintain that, it's hard to start it. It's like sending a kid at 21 and put him in the army. That first 2 3 weeks of PT gonna be nuts,
Yeah,
but
that wouldn't
but
last.
after like I think I was like 11, and some of my childhood friends was like, "You want to go?" I was like, "Bro, I got practice." They're like, "What you go?" I got practice. Like
But you and loved it too,
it's like yeah,
obviously.
obviously yeah, because I was I got good at it, and after a while I saw what they were doing, and I didn't want that.
You
I'm
didn't want
like,
that for yourself, and that I think that's what we need. And even if it's music, or if it is that, maybe there's some things at the churches
oh man,
that
it's so
get
much,
them into rapping
it's
and
so many
producing music.
programs.
To because everybody is not an athlete.
No, not at all. You got to be blessed, and you got to have hard work, and you got to work your talent. But I think a lot of it, like you just said, partnering with organizations and giving these kids outlets to be themselves, to be free spirited for positive change, and also people. It's so many organizations that you can partner with. The church doesn't have to do
Oh,
that.
that's true too.
They can partner with organizations that can come and do programming. So, like, we have a program out where I'm at. We're putting together called the Recipe for Success Mentorship Program,
Oh, that's
and
great.
yeah, and we're bringing small business owners inside of the schools for individuals that want to get into real estate, barber, construction, and we're actually having those children be mentees to the business owners. So and that's one portion of it. I think the bigger goal is for each parent, regardless if you're making 200,000 or $10 an hour, to have options.
Give them
A
options.
lot of times back when I was young, options were slim. I come from a low income housing. My mom was she she was a housekeeper. She didn't make any money. We was on food stamps, the old food stamps with the book, you know, and I know we were poor, but we had love within our community, you
And I
know.
think we're missing that too. I'm the
Yeah, we
real
had
sense
love.
of community.
I'm still cool with everyone from Stone Tears. I think my family, I love them. I'll do anything for them. They'll do anything for me, and I wanted to do something for them. I wanted them to be like, "Oh yeah, he from us. He from my hood. He made it, or he's doing better." And I think that when these kids, they need to see other than rappers
Other
and
than rapping.
actors, they need to see business owners. They need to see radio owners. They need to see construction workers. They need to see plumbers, HVACs, electricians that make phenomenal money. They make money. HVACs, electricals, they making 195 a year.
And I want to shout out that there's an organization for women in labor
Hmm.
that introduce women to if Chicago Women in Labor, if anybody, women that are looking, if they know the 4 year college is not their thing and want to get your kids off the streets this summer, check them out and they will introduce your or child to all different forms of labor jobs. They can find what they like and then mentor them towards that. So we need more things like that. I
We,
agree.
we we definitely do, and here here at Intellectual Radio, at the Financial Power Hour, we're gonna bring on so many individuals in different facets. We're gonna bring on real estate developers. We're gonna bring on um, coaches in financial industries. We're gonna bring on teachers. We're gonna bring on ABA teams. How to start your own semi-pro professional teams. Shouts out to the Fury. One of my good friends, Reese. He gives back to basketball. So we all have our job to do. We all have our place to affect change. Some of us affect change through talk over the air. Some of us affect change through community. I know for myself, we try to enhance change through financial literacy, through service systems that can have you earning six figures or more, because a lot of it, unfortunately, is financial restraints. When you have a household only making $30,000 a year, but your household bills are more like $70,000 a year, you are already losing. So for us, we have real estate seminars. We have next Saturday from 9 to 12, we are doing our tax mastery class, and we are showing individuals how to make six figures through taxes.
How do they sign up for that?
All they got to do is text tax masterclass to 630-926-0394. We have a partnership with the Hilton on 93rd and Cicero, and it's 12 weeks. And after that 12 weeks, that individual will know how to start their own, and they can position themselves to earn six figures that next tax season. This is something I've done for 15 years.
630
926
926
03
03
94.
94. Okay. And that's next weekend?
That is next Saturday for 12 weeks. We going to bring everything to them, the kitchen sink. We're going to broadcast live. We're going to talk about how important partnerships are, fees, customer acquisition, customer attrition, software, virtual assistant, the market share, how to be an effective leader, how to be a humble leader, a servant leader. We're going to talk about all that.
That sounds good. I think that the community needs things like that because a lot of times it's lack of knowledge. I mean, they want these things,
Mhm.
but don't have the knowledge to get there. So it's great that you're helping people gain that knowledge.
Absolutely.
So you guys give them a call and sign up for this 12-week session.
Yes, yes. And we're doing it. We did very
Now, what
well.
else you have going on?
Yeah, well, okay. So, okay, we got to, okay, cool. So, we own American Dream Firearm and Safety. So I am a firearms specialist. So we give individuals their CCL. So if individuals that want to get the CCL, it's the same number, 630-926-0394. I'm a real estate developer as well as an investor. So I do own and operate real estate in different areas. I'm also an investor, equity investor. So we actual American Dream Investment Group, we invest in different gentrified properties. This first revised division is Forest Park. No, Forest Heights. So we're going to go into the Forest Heights area. We partner with the pastor, Pastor Donald, and he does some amazing work out there. And we're going to do some buildings and properties out there. Um, the Financial Power Hour is on several different facets. First we're on IntellectualRadio.com. We're on Soul 106 on Sundays from 9 to 11. We're on My Radio Chicago. I have Mental Wealth every other Sunday that we talk about mental, and then wealth. How do that transcends from how do you change your mindset from being mentally challenged to financial secure. So we have that. I own U-Hauls. Uh,
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And you're here, like you said, intellectualradio.com, the
yeah.
financial hour, Saturdays 3 to 5.
3 to 5
All
every
right, all
Saturday,
right.
3 to 5. We're not going nowhere, and we're going to continue to grow this. So,
Well, thank you for having me on. I
Yeah.
really, really appreciate it. I've learned something. I'm probably going to attend some seminars and get my financial power going.
man, come on, we would love for you to. A lot of times, people think we got a couple minutes. We got about 2 more minutes. A lot of times, people think that these industries are hard to get in or they're hard to understand. They're not. Once you understand the language, you can talk to anybody. It doesn't matter who or what they are. Taxes is just like real estate. It's just like women doing hair. Extensions, perm, size, texture is the exact same thing. And once individuals understand, what you're talking about, then it opens up a whole nother opportunity. So if they wanted to find you, if they wanted to follow you, or if they had some questions, how do they do that?
For me, if you wanted to find me, especially if you like what Brian is doing here at Intellectual Radio, and you say, okay, how do I do something like that? Or how do I get a hold of him? You can get a hold of us. We have over 50 different shows here at Intellectual Radio that do as fabulous as Brian does, giving you, we feed your brain here.
Yes.
And that would be at 708-223-8953. 708-223-8953. And as for me, Wanda B.
Man, she just gave you the sauce. So again, man, this is the Financial Power Hour over at Intellectual Radio, intellectualradio.com. We love you. Shouts out to Raymond Betts. That girl love you. Shy Blizz. It's your boy Brian Fleming. We love you. Peace.
Times changing, I rhyme like I climb cages, vibrant with my cadence, reminder my silence anguish. Take a whiff of the pine fragrance, my mind faded. They called and told me the slot's vacant, I'm not